All right, well, welcome back. Volume 2, My World Through the Eyes of Mental Illness. Doobie Snacks here. When you think about the whole world dealing with what it is, and I mean natural issues, disasters, um, you call it climate change, whatever, but and then you've got the finances. A lot of people are suffering. It mental illness makes things a lot more dramatic for individuals, and they handle things differently. And a lot of times people will blame it on mental illness. And it's more or less true. I mean, a lot of people can just snap. I mean, they just can't take it anymore. Your mind overloads. You take too much in, and you can't direct it. It's your mind is the one that plays tricks on the rest of your body. So when your mind is telling you to do different things or develop in different situations, it's kind of hard. You can see that the kids growing up through all this are having a hard time identifying themselves these days. They're not they're not given the proper guidance, let's say. The teachers are so overwhelmed, and everybody takes advantage of the fact that we send our kids to these institutions by law, okay? By law. But yet they can't get paid what they're really worth. They they can't get what they need. And these teachers are the stepping blocks for these kids. I knew when I was going through high school, I had some teachers that knew and understood me, and they helped me get through all that. There were individuals. My all right, this is interesting, but my choir teacher in seventh and eighth grade helped me develop my love for music and how to get my mental status, get my mental abilities a direction. I started playing guitar. My dad bought me my first guitar. It was a Phantom. It was my first guitar, and man, I tell you what, it was rocking. It looked like a BC Rich, but I got into music thanks to her, and it changed my outlook throughout my school, my 20s, my 30s. As I changed, my love for my music changed because it helped me and guided me through some real difficult times. So, we as a nation send our kids to school to learn. Well, this is a squirrel moment, but they're learning the wrong things, except for math. But history needs to be rewritten, people. Please, give the Vikings their props for being here. Uh, If you're going to go that way, I still believe that the Native Americans truly have a bone to pick. But anyway, squirrel moment. We send our kids to the teachers who we trust to educate our children. We also know in our hearts that these teachers have their own lives to deal with, but they come and teach anyway. They go through basically twice, if not more, than what we as a family individual go through when we send our kids in. Because not only are the teachers dealing with what they're dealing with at home, but they're also dealing with each and every individual child in their care. These teachers are not stupid. They see things. They know these things are tells. A lot of teachers say something and are overlooked, and then issues come about. Issues that we do not, as a nation, want to deal with. The teachers need to be better trained to protect themselves as well as the children. They also need to feel safe to teach our children so our children feel safe. Mental illness affects a lot of people, like I said, through trauma or through birth. And things that they're seeing in everyday life leaves a scar. And they have to figure out how they're dealing with it. Parents are going to see children changing. Social media doesn't help much, but it's out there. Everyone needs someone to talk to about these things. Everyone needs someone to be there. Someone that knows who you are inside, not out. That one individual that is willing to stick it through thick and thin. Those are hard people to find. And most of the time, you're going to find it in blood. Now, when you're dealing with your mental issues, whatever they are, the first people that are going to suffer are the people closest to you. They are your first target. You're going to try different things to make yourself feel good, not worrying about anybody else. That happens. You're going to test the waters. That's just your mind dealing with new ways of trying to figure out a way to make you feel better. It happens. You can control it, but it's hard. And the easiest road is sometimes the more fun road to take. But 10 years later, karma is a bitch, man. I'm telling you right now. You'll feel it later if you survive. So, fair warning. Fair warning. Anyways, back at the ranch. It all comes down to one thing. If you're starting to see or feel anything that is making you feel aggressive, feel like you need to lash out, do not make it your family, your blood. Don't do it. There are people out there that are willing to be your victim if they know you and understand you. Sometimes your best friend could be the greatest gift you ever know. You just got to be able to talk to somebody outside of your circle, your protection, your wall. Somebody who is outside of the box to protect your family and to protect yourself. If you start feeling like your world is caving in and you're starting to hear your inner voice telling you there's something wrong. Trust that voice. That voice is all of the issues, all of the things that you have gone through your entire life. Your inner voice, that's your wisdom. If you trust it, you might be able to survive. I say this because I didn't. I didn't trust my inner voice. I went the easy path. And it crushed so many people. So if you start wanting to be an individual, separating yourself from your family to protect them, tell them. If you start feeling like you need to protect your family from yourself, you need to talk to somebody. That's your first instinct, your first goal to achieve inner peace and to start working on who you are as an individual. You need to start getting rid of the anxieties, the triggers. If an individual or a thought or a picture or a song, anything that triggers an anxiety, that makes you feel like you need to be defensive in your own inner circle, you need to step away from it. And if a family member, someone you care about and love, is a trigger, then it's best for you and that individual, it's best for them to part ways, separate yourself from them. So you and that individual can figure out what's going on before something else happens, another issue, because they stockpile. They just build and build. It's a Lego system. Once you start getting rid of the Jenga pieces that are adding to your issues, then you start figuring out ways to make yourself better and figure out what you can do for yourself to make it easier to see or talk to those individuals that used to give you those anxieties. Time is a precious thing when it comes to the mind. It needs time to process. And if you have mental issues that are blocking the normal way, then it will come up with another way. You might not understand the way your mind is doing it, but trust your gut instinct because you are a survivor. Your mind has kept you going this far. Trust who you are and who you were raised to be. If you question how you were raised in the way that your mind developed around it, then surround yourself with people who love you, who will help re-raise you. And what I mean by re-raise is to regrow, to become somebody you actually want to be, and not who you were told to be, or how you felt like you should be. That's not the way your mind processes it. And if you push that way of processing it, then you stockpile more issues. You're not yourself, so you can't figure out how to be you when all these other issues are being stockpiled on. You have to figure out what your triggers, what your developing triggers are, so you can shy away from them and find out what those peaceful thoughts are. When you're actually feeling no anxiety and your mind is free to actually feel, understand, and develop what's been going on. Give your mind time to develop what it has just processed. It's like a computer. It boom, 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 boom. But if you give it time, you become understanding of the process. You find your triggers a lot quicker and a easier way to develop a wall or another route to take. You don't have to push the triggers away, but you find another way around them so you can develop a better feeling and understanding. These are just little hints and things that I've developed through the years. And there have been so many different issues and situations that have gotten me in a lot of trouble. I've taken the easy route, the quick payday route. I have conned a lot of people that I love and care for, and I've been paying for it ever since. I have not done anything to break the law since I got out of prison. I have gained nothing but respect for the law enforcement community. And I say that with the deepest heartfelt love, because these guys volunteer, go through rigorous training to protect and to serve. They go through their mental, background. They go through the questioning and all that. And yes, there are some bad apples. There are in everything. There's bad apples in a batch of bad apples. Okay? You can't get away from that. But the thing is, there are some really good ones out there. And these guys not only have to deal with their own issues at home, but they also have to deal with the issues that are outside. They have to protect all of us. And they deal with every individual situation differently. And the reason I say that is they all go through training, but they all have different reasons for joining the force in the first place. What drives them to be there? And the same goes for paramedics and firefighters. The same exact thing and the same kind of love. They go through so much every day seeing people go through their worst. Okay, and I don't care who you are. That leaves a bruise on someone's soul. You could watch somebody putting out a fire, and watch somebody's life go up in flames. You could see somebody in a wreck where they've had to be hospitalized, and there was no reason for the wreck. It just happened. These little things, these guys have to deal with every day. And it's stockpiles, like I said before, Legos, man. It does. And these guys have to figure out their own individual way of dealing with them. Whether it's they go home and cherish their families, or they go to a therapist, or they go to the shooting range. It depends on the situation of the day. And these guys have to do this every day. And I see some really great things being televised about police doing great, but also the bad things, the issues, the shootings. You see that. The bad apples, where you actually have an individual who does not care for anybody but themselves. They're out there in everything that we do. But the police, the FBI, all these individuals, all the healthcare individuals, these guys see trauma every day. They see the look in our eyes. They see the pain and the stress and the anger. And a lot of times they're human. They feel these issues. A lot of people have empathy and they don't understand it at times, why they feel it. But when you see an individual go through their worst, you feel it. So, mental health issues, these guys have to deal with all the time. And it does rub off on you. And I'm hoping that somebody out there in the field can say something to individuals for more mental health screening, for people, for these guys to actually talk to and be able to talk back to them and be real about it. Not worry about the job, not worry about the outside world. Just give them something or someone to vent to. Okay. Okay, enough preaching about that. As an individual, as I see it through my eyes, I apologize for the squirrel effects at times, but bottom line is we have a lot of people out there that are dealing with their own issues and trying to figure out a better way to understand what they're going through. I didn't have much of anything, but I can structure my life now a lot better because I understand where my triggers are, what they are. I've developed ways for my mind to Zen effect. I've studied a lot of different religions to find that feeling that I like. And I got to tell you, it wasn't in Christianity, but I really enjoy the Shinto, Buddhism. I really enjoy the inner peace, trying to cleanse my soul in different effects. But that's another topic altogether. Religion is spicy topic to me. So, anyways, this is Doobie Snacks signing off. I hope you all enjoyed this. I'll come up with some more later. Adios and peace out. Bye.